on, y'all? It's your man Untitled. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today I have a new comic book review for you. Not just a comic book review though. This is a graphic novel review, a story we've all been waiting on. Power Rangers: Sins of the Future. I'm so excited to finally be reviewing this book. So before we get into the review, I do want to remind you guys, I am an Amazon affiliate, so if you guys are interested in adding some Power Rangers merch, some of those Lightning Collection figurines to your collection, well, as an Amazon affiliate, you guys can click directly on my links below in the description, and if you click directly through my links and you purchase through those links, not only does it support my channel, it's no extra cost to you at all. You get to get some of those collectibles and add them to your collection. So if you like my channel and you want to support me, that's a cool, fun way that you guys can. Plus, without any extra cost, you guys can add some of these collectibles and Power Rangers merch to your collection. So be sure to check out the description below. And if you are new to my channel and you like the videos that I do, make sure that you guys subscribe. So when I review these books, I look at three different criteria: the good, the bad, and the Morphin. So starting off with the good. So if I could give a main point or theme to this story, it's definitely a love story at heart. This is Jen Scott's story at heart, and it's a story about being in the moment. Not the past, not the future, but existing within the now. It's this universal truth that I feel like our society today definitely struggles with. Being in the now, being in the present moment. And this graphic novel just hammers that whole theme on the head, man. And they do it and they execute it very well. That's the main theme, and it just so happens to be, you know, within the world of Power Rangers. It just so happens to have time travel and Power Rangers surrounded around that theme, and therefore you get a really compelling story. If you want to see the continuation of Wes and Jen's relationship and what happened after the season's end, this book is for you. If you are somebody that's in a long distance relationship and you're not quite sure how to make it work, there's hope. There might be hope for you. Maybe. Getting into the bad of this comic. Eric was in this comic, but we didn't get to see him morph into the Quantum Ranger. Love seeing him in that Ranger form. I just love that 6th Ranger so much. And it was cool, at least we got to see his character show up, you know, and seeing him, you know, still working as a guardian with Wes. So I thought that that was still cool. But, you know, it still would have been cool to see, you know, the Quantum Ranger, even though I know this story particularly wasn't about the Quantum Ranger. But, hey, what, you know, he still showed up, but we still didn't get to see him, you know, in his Quantum Ranger form, which I thought would have been cool. Getting into the Morphin of this comic. New mysterious black Time Force Ranger is actually Alex, you know, the commander of Time Force. That's his younger sister, who believes Jen Scott is responsible for Alex's death. So she's basically trying to hunt her down and eliminate Jen. Eventually she figures out that Jen obviously is not the enemy. The new Black Ranger, Jen, Nadira, all team up to fix the time warping. Some really cool, badass girl power moments within this book, and I absolutely loved it. Girls get stuff done. That's a boys reference for you. Also love all the little references in this book. Like, we know Hyperforce is canon for sure now. We see a little mention about Operation Overdrive. We see the Dragon Zord make a small appearance. Don't worry, Tommy Oliver is not in this book. Relax. Just the Dragon Zord. I also love this moment, you know, when time was warped and it changed, and Jen Scott, she didn't know this, so she's trying to go to her friend's apartment's house and, you know, visit some of her friends and her team. But when she rings the doorbell, they like pretty much attack her bluntly because they believe she is responsible for the death of Alex, you know, the original, you know, Red Time Force commander. They fight her, they try to contain her, but that scene, let me just tell y'all, that scene was her boss moment. If anybody forgot that Jen Scott was the leader of the Time Force Rangers, this was that moment that you quickly remembered. This was that moment that you were quickly re-educated that no, she's the leader of this team. And we quickly see that and are reminded, like, she dogs them, like, she kicks their asses. Like, it's crazy. Like, you see just how powerful and strong and how, you know, wise she is as a leader, and just how strong her capabilities are, you know, with leading this team. Like, she's the leader, and we quickly are reminded of that. And I just thought that was so cool. So anybody who's like, man, how come they don't have any, you know, female leads in the Power Rangers? How come we can't have a pink, you know, leader as, you know, one of the leaders of the Power Rangers? Don't forget, Jen Scott was the first to show up and show y'all who's running stuff. Like, she threw down, and I love that scene so much. Like, it was just executed beautifully. Even though, like, it was messed up to, like, see, like, she had to defend herself against her friends because time was warped, so they didn't really know the truth behind everything. But it was still speaking to a moment, like, she's the one that's in charge. She's the leader, you know what I mean? And, man, she's definitely the alpha, and I love being able to see that moment. This book also introduces us to a new alpha, Alpha 55. So much fan service, and I just really appreciated it. It really didn't feel like it was over the top. You know, it was a little bit of fan service sprinkled here, little references sprinkled here, but none of it felt like over the top. It just felt like, you know, hey, these are little things that speak to the continuity of the brand, that speak to the continuity of Power Rangers in that universe. And when you have those little things where it's not so big that it's in your face, you know what I mean? It fit well, and I appreciated it. So I loved all the little references, man. I thought that was cool. Getting into my lightning rating for this book, look, y'all, I give it a 5 out of 5. Like, 5 out of 5 lightning bolts for sure, because I enjoyed reading this book. You know, mind you, I didn't look at any spoilers or anything. I will say this though. I will say this. And I'm still going to talk more about my lightning rating as we continue on. But I did, at first I had a thought that this new mysterious Black Ranger was going to be like Jen and Wes's, you know, future child or something. That was a thought, an idea that I had. Because, mind you, I didn't look at any spoilers. I didn't look at any, you know, pre-pictures or any of that stuff before getting into this book. I wanted to go in fresh with a fresh perspective and just read it for myself. And as I read it, it felt like I was watching like a special or something. I felt like, man, I'm picking up literally where we left off, you know, in the season. And I'm telling you guys, Time Force is one of those seasons it's definitely up there on par or even beyond some of the stuff with MMPR. You know what I mean? Like, MMPR is going to be classic because it was the thing that started us off. You know what I mean? But Time Force is one of those things that's just beloved amongst the fandom, especially if you're somebody like me that grew up with it, man. So I enjoyed it. It definitely felt like a TV special, and I mean that in a good way, picking up where we left off, and that's not an easy thing to do, to pick up where we left off for something that, you know, existed back in the 90s to, you know, today. And think about how cool that works, because this is a thing that plays with time, you know what I mean? Even though I'm talking about the TV show, it still felt like, man, this feels like that time. But, you know, we're also jumping into the future and doing all this other stuff. But it all blended very well. And it felt like I was reading a special. So I enjoyed it. And I definitely, all of these graphic novels that they tend to come out with, you know, they all definitely have something where they feel like a TV special, where you're drawn in. It feels different than just the single reads that we read, you know, throughout, you know, the months. So I enjoyed it. I definitely loved it. 5 out of 5 lightning bolts. Guys, have you read Power Rangers Sins of the Future? Comment below and let me know, like, what were some of your favorite parts of this book? What were some other things that stood out to you? Some things I may not mention, you know, I don't want to get into and dissect every little moment, because I think it's good for you guys to read the comic. I give you, and hey, spoilers, I probably should have said that earlier on. So if you haven't read the book, obviously this video is definitely going to be major spoilers. But again, if you did read it, comment below and let me know what were some of your favorite parts about this book. If you watched Power Rangers Time Force, let me know what were some of your favorite moments in that season. Comment below, let me know. And again, if you guys are new to my channel, be sure to subscribe right now. We have video content coming out every week, almost like all week. You know, like I release different little videos. Sometimes I do the Tommy Talks. Sometimes I do, you know, Power Ranger comic book reviews, other skits. So just keep your eyes on the channel, but definitely subscribe if you are new. And again, guys, I want to remind you, get yourself some of these Power Ranger Lightning Collection action figures. I will post, you know, my Amazon affiliate links below. So again, if you guys purchase directly through those links, it helps out my channel a ton. No extra cost to you. But if you want to support me, that's a cool way that you can. And again, go subscribe. Much love, and I will see you guys for the next comic book review. Peace!